Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with the kill count. So, tonight, we're going back to Hawkins for our second to last ride since final season's coming up. It's Stranger Things 4, Part 1. So yeah, there's two parts to this, so I'm not going to do back-to-back because, frankly, I don't think I should do that, but I don't know. Anywho, sorry, we're all 50 minutes, so I figured I'd just do this one first. So, sorry, I just thought about doing it, but I thought, better not. Don't want to exhaust myself. So, without further ado, let's get part 1 out of the way. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Here we go. Back to Hawkins. Just kill my mic.
Welcome to the Kill Count,
Heyo.
where we tally up the victims
from
and
the
all our
Hellfire
favorite
Club.
horror media
Nice.
and show you how they were made. I'm James H. Denise, and today we're looking at Season 4 of Stranger Things, released on Netflix in May and July of 2022. After the colorful summer blockbuster feel of Stranger Things 3, showrunners and twin brothers Matt and Ross Duffer wanted a darker and more mature tone for Season 4. They felt the change was necessary based on their own experiences growing up.
Middle school for us was like a fun, amazing, joyful experience. Some of the best memories of my life were in middle school. High school was horrible.
So as the kid characters age into facing the horrors of high school, the show leans into the horror genre more than ever before, especially with Vecna, the latest villain from the Upside Down.
Hi,
He's
Vecna.
got a sort of Freddy Krueger Cenobite thing going on with a kind of Wishmastery appearance. In fact, there are references to horror media all over the place, from visual Easter eggs to name drops in dialogue. Even the music sometimes feels reminiscent of Charles Bernstein's score for A Nightmare on Elm Street. At the same time, Stranger Things 4 does continue the trajectory from Season 3, where the show gets cartoonish at times. We are a long way from Season 1 at this point, which was stylized for sure and had moments of hokiness, but was ultimately a grounded mystery with the 80s aesthetic as a flavoring. By Season 3, the 80s styling had completely overpowered the show, and it's still poured on a little thick here. Even more noticeable, though, is the way that every shot and moment is staged to be quote-unquote epic, with overly posed blocking that can feel artificial at times. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but you might bristle at it if you want something realistic. This show knows it's a huge show at this point, and sometimes it seems like the characters know they're the Stranger Things kids, you know? But I guess the cinematic styling is appropriate for them. When you're a hormonal high schooler, everything can feel like a movie. Season 4 sees the characters split up more than ever before, with thousands of miles between some of them. There are 4 or 5 different major plot lines, and a whole lot of jumping around between them. Honestly, I only truly love 1 or 2 of the storylines. A clear favorite is the Hawkins stuff. It's got the most interesting and best acted characters and features Vecna, who really elevates the season. The 11 storyline has cool revelations and visuals, even though something about it feels a little too familiar to me. The California crew is fun, but ultimately unimportant. It's definitely the most removed from the rest of the show. The Hopper storyline has good character beats, but man, do I get bored being in a Russian gulag for so long. And finally, I actively hate the Joyce and Murray stuff. Most of their scenes are him yapping while she makes faces. And while he's good at yapping, and she's great at making faces, that dynamic's tough to sustain its own storyline for several episodes. Plus, he is by far the most Flanderized character, and his shtick gets old after a while. Still, the way it all shakes out, I love Season 4 as a whole. It's clearly a huge step forward for the show, and I think the best season since the first one. I always found Season 2 a bit boring, like it was treading water, and while Season 3 was more fun, it was also a little too ridiculous. This season has ridiculous moments too, but they're balanced out by a return to mystery and the infusion of serious horror. The show is still funny and adventurous, but this is by far the scariest and goriest it's ever been. I do wish the episodes weren't so frickin' long. The shortest is still over an hour, and the finale is a whopping 2 hours 20 minutes. But honestly,
feels like
I
a
might just be
movie.
hating because that length makes it way harder to cover in a kill count. There's a reason it took us 3 years to finally sit down and make these episodes. At the same time, the length feels befitting. The word gets overused, but Stranger Things is epic. From its scale to its style, this show wants to be something big. It doesn't always succeed, but when it does, god damn is it great. But enough beating around the Kate Bush, let's get to the kills. Just gotta roll for them first.
Careful.
On that one.
Terrible news, player! It looks
Found
like
the Dungeon
you've been
Master, or
stopped
Game
in
Master.
your tracks by
Dungeon Master,
the Sponsor Beast!
Sponsor.
Gyros?
It's a space wizard. Just move on.
Okay, well, I'm not worried
What
about
is
the
it?
sponsor beast because I'll equip today's sponsor, Raycon. Thanks to my group theme trait, the beats will give me the boost I need to take it on.
Interesting move, but that will cost you awareness.
Oh, no, that's where you're wrong. Because I'm going to be equipping their bone conduction headphones, which send audio through my bones, keeping my ears open to the world.
Powerful equipment. Ah, but unfortunately the beast will use its spell, Sponsor Skip, jumping you ahead in time.
Does my sponsor effort skill reduce that at all?
Checking.
Ah, not as much as you'd hope. That would be a 10-hour time jump. Now,
10 hours?
What will you do with no battery life?
Oh, no battery life, please. These babies are built to last all day with 13 hours of battery life and a fit that
13.
don't slip. Not to mention they're dust-proof and IP68 waterproof. That's why I use them throughout my day-to-day life, whether I'm reading, doing chores, or cooking up some grub.
And you think that's enough to beat this monster?
Beat him? No, you've got this all wrong. I'm gonna gift him a pair. After all, this premium performance comes
okay.
without the premium price tag. And over 3 million customers love Raycon, so I know they will too.
Checking.
Boom!
Hey!
Black Friday is around the corner, and Raycon audio products are up to 30% off site-wide for a limited time. From everyday essentials to the latest releases, it's the perfect
Friday,
chance
Cyber
to
Monday,
upgrade your
go
sound
get 'em.
or get ahead on gifting. Just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/deadmeatbc to save on Raycon audio products site-wide. How many verified Vecna victims will visit the numbers void? Let's
go find out.
and get to the kills.
Back to Hawkins.
The season
First
begins
up,
with
the Hellfire
morning
Club.
ASMR and a getting ready video by Martin Brenner. Wait,
Brenner?
didn't that guy maybe die in season 1? Oh, okay, this is 1979,
Oh,
about 4 years before
flashback.
the events of season 1. This was back when Dr. Brenner watched over 11 and an entire gang of numbers kids, like 6, who I'm pretty sure is afraid of 7, and oh, that kid's gotta be 8,
7,
right?
8, 9.
He's got a magic 8 ball. Wait, really? He's 10? Oh, yeah, that's right. 8 was Callie from that episode
right.
we don't talk about anymore. Brenner asks
Fair
10
enough.
if he's up for some lessons, and all signs point to yes. They do some psychic testing that feels a little Venkman-esque before Brenner asks 10 to psychically snoop on another doctor giving a test nearby. He does and gets flashes of something wrong. Blood,
Ooh.
Brenner, blood! 10 says Dr. Ellis and 6 are dead, and since we saw them pass Brenner in the hall right before
6.
this, we met them and they can go on the count. All of a sudden the door gets blown off its hinges and knocks Brenner the fuck out, man! When he comes to, he finds 10 dead. Oh no,
Yeah,
not
hell?
10! He was the base of their whole number system. Starting your season off with a dead kid is a pretty bold choice, but at least it
kids, if
should
you
shut
look
up
at
the
it,
people
right.
who say Stranger Things isn't horror at all. In fact, before the premiere, Netflix added a last-minute content warning to this episode since there had been a recent school shooting. Which one was that again? I'm sorry, it's fucking impossible to keep track. Oh yeah, Uvalde, Texas, the one with the incompetent cops. Got it. The warning mentioned graphic violence involving
Right.
children and advised the opening scene might be distressing. No
Yeah,
fucking
my
wonder,
bad.
since Brenner leaves the room to find 7 more bodies in the hallway. 2 guards, 2 orderlies, and 3 more dead kids. Oh man,
Wow.
those are some young kids. That's fucked up, man. And don't
Well, I guess you know this season's off to an interesting start when you got freaking dead kids. I mean, 5 if you count them. 6, 10 to 3, we don't know. I mean, I guess they knew what they were doing, but goddamn, good luck. Anyway, next.
Don't you worry, it gets even worse, because he enters the rainbow room to see 11 more dead kids.
More of them?
All strewn about in very
Jesus.
uncomfortable positions. Oh shit, they got James Bond too. The only one left standing is 11, covered in blood.
Ow.
What have you done?
Well, I'm pretty sure she used CG to make herself look younger, dude. But regardless, this is a hell of a start to a hell of a season of Title Car. The intro title sequence remains unchanged 4 seasons in, which makes sense. It's unimpeachably awesome. The dark techno synth, the electrical oven letters, the slightest hint of lo-fi with snowy static. It's just great. When we come back, we're in March of
California.
1986 with California Dreamin' on the soundtrack. What is this, Chungking Express? Nope, it's an
That's
appropriate
the thing.
needle drop since that's where 11 lives. After
Right.
she and the Byers left Hawkins at the end of season 3, they wound up in the fictional city of Lenora Hills, California. We're brought up to speed by stilted VO from 11 as she writes to Mike. Joyce sells encyclopedias now, working from home like so many viewers would have recently thanks to the COVID pandemic. Will's been painting a lot and is being real secretive about it.
Maybe it is for a girl.
Yeah, probably not. Jonathan's found a new California hobby and a new friend to share it with.
box.
Surfer Boy pizza delivery guy Argyle, who's gonna love Sam Jackson in Jurassic Park.
Hold on to your butts, bro, chachos.
It's only 2 days until spring break begins, and 11 can't wait for Mike to come visit. At school, the kids are asked to present a project on their personal hero. Elle, who goes by Jane here, chooses her dad Hopper instead of a historical figure. It makes for quite the awkward presentation.
This is Mr. Fibley. He is a squirrel.
She gets teased by the other students because despite what she wrote to
Harsh.
Mike, Eleven's had a hard time making friends here. As a new kid during freshman year, her differences make her a prime target for bullies, like popular chick Angela, who isn't satisfied with verbal abuse, so after school she trips Elle to the ground. Elle tries to get revenge with a psychic blast, but it just ends up being atomic level cringe.
Right.
Shit? What the hell was that?
Oh my god, the way my soul shed its earthenly body. She looked like some weeb trying to Kamehameha his
pretty
bullies.
much.
Aw, and then her daddy diorama gets
Oh,
curb
what
stomped
a
too.
dick.
I fear I cannot handle this discomfort. And I'm a Nathan Fielder fan. If you forgot, like I did, 11 lost her powers at the end of season 3 after the showdown with the Mind Flayer. There's a bit of debate about how she lost them and where they went. Was it because she got bit? Or was the battle so intense and traumatic that it drained her psychic batteries for good? I don't know. Joyce gets a Russian doll in
I mean, probably second batteries, but then again, just, that whole just, you don't even have a powers yet. Why are you doing that? What the hell? We're 11. Just, sheesh. No offense, but even if I had second powers and I just suddenly lost them, I mean, I would bust them out like that until I at least made sure of it. You know, I know that's harsh, but come on. Anyway.
Male, which she's pretty red scared about, so she calls Murray for advice. He
Hey.
tells her to undress the doll. Damn, dude,
What?
take a cold shower. Oh, okay, the bath works too. She does
Yeah,
what he
I was about to
says
say,
and
was that
finds
a karate?
surprisingly accurate anatomy and a crack that hints towards something hidden inside. With Murray's direction, Joyce rigs up a little Home Alone trap and smashes the doll
Right.
open with a paint can. She finds a note inside, giving her Hopper hope, since it says he's still alive. Back in Hawkins, everyone
Okay.
is getting ready for the high school pep rally. Robin does her makeup as she talks to Steve about her crush, a girl named Vicky who's also in band. A
yeah.
clarinet and a trumpet? Yeah, that could work. Robin isn't sure if Vicky swings the same way she does, but Steve points out she returned Fast Times at Ridgemont High to the video store with the tape paused at 53 minutes and 9 seconds. That's the famous dream sequence where Phoebe Cates takes off her top. So Vicky and Robin probably have some shared interests. Interests Steve shares too.
I like boobies. You like boobies.
As Jimmy Pop would say, hooray for boobies. We catch
Hooray
up
for
with the rest
boobies.
of the Hawkins gang too. Nancy's a senior who's nearing graduation and is working at the school newspaper. She and Jonathan are still dating long distance, but are kinda on the outs, and honestly, it's a subplot
Ignore
not
it, yeah.
worth mentioning in the skill count. Sorry,
enough.
Max has been seeing the school counselor Ms. Kelly in the aftermath of Billy's death. It traumatized the hell out of her, but she's unwilling to open up to anyone about it.
It's like you're a ghost or something.
Instead, she walks around blaring Kate Bush on her headphones, an amazing
Running up
sonic
that hill.
encapsulation of her grief. Lucas has joined the basketball team, while Mike and Dustin have not. All three are members of the Hellfire Club, though, which is the school's Dungeons and Dragons club. They're not like super fans of Frollo from Hunchback or anything. Its name is a reference to the X-Men comics, where the Hellfire Club played a big role in Jean Grey's Dark Phoenix storyline, which itself has influenced Eleven's character arc throughout the show. Or at least that's what my research says. I don't know comics. At the pep rally, Lucas's basketball captain Jason gives a speech touching on the tragedies that Hawkins has endured, like the shopping mall disaster from last summer.
In dark days like this, we need something to believe in.
Jason's girlfriend is cheerleader Chrissy Cunningham, who shares a surname with the family from Happy Days. That show aired in the 70s, but was set in an idealized 1950s, which is perfect for Chrissy since she and Jason seem like perfect American teens. But that image is only surface level. Chrissy's having issues and also seeing the school counselor. Max finds her pom-pom puking in the bathroom too, since she's got an eating disorder seemingly encouraged by her mother. While hiding in the stall, she has a hallucination of her mom's abuse and sees monstrous feet under the door. Careful, girl, that might be the look-see. At the pep rally, Dustin and Mike learn that the big basketball game conflicts with their final D&D session. They tell Lucas to skip the game since he's a bench warmer anyway, but he's thinking of their next 3 years.
If I get in good with these guys, I'll be in the popular crowd, and then you guys will be too.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure
I
about
doubt
that, buddy?
that's gonna happen, but Lucas doesn't want to be bullied for all of high school like we saw they were in middle school. This diverging of interests among friends as they get older is so real and tragic. These lovable weirdos have always been picked on, but they used to have each other's backs. Now they're split up, either geographically or socially, and the reality of high school is slapping them in the face. Hormones are making every...
Yeah, that does make sense. Even I would have been like, hey, look, we'll try to stay friends outside school. Inside, we'll see what happens. But we promise each other not to bully each other. Honestly, if I was there, I probably would have made that, distinction. Again, I don't know. But that's just me thinking if I was there in Hawkins. But you get the idea, right? Anyway,
Everyone awkward and self-conscious and emotional. It's really sad to see. Lucas asks his friends to get the D&D session moved so they can come to his game. To do that, they'll have to talk to the Hellfire Club's president, freaking Eddie freaking Munson. He's a fan favorite new character introduced while the Cramps' I Was a Teenage Werewolf plays. It's an apt needle drop, considering his name is almost identical to Eddie Munster, the little werewolf boy from the 1960s sitcom. The boys find Eddie in the cafeteria reading an article about the dangers of D&D. The role-playing game was a target of satanic panic in the 80s thanks to a 1976 book by Gary North. In 1982, there was a made-for-TV movie called Mazes and Monsters that cautioned audiences against the dangers of role-playing games, and starred a 25-year-old Tom Hanks. And a 1985 CBS report featured a dude who falsely linked the game to dozens of murders and suicides. By the end of the decade, the game removed all demonic references, though they were reintroduced in the 3rd edition, published in 2000. Dustin asks Eddie to move the...
Yeah, honestly, even I would have been like, okay. And also, I do remember JonTron doing a video, I think, wasn't it called Darkest Dungeon? Hold on. Like, I remember JonTron covering something like that. You know, Satanic Panic about a Christian thing? Hold on. I remember it, I just can't remember the name off the top of my head. Let's see, is that... What's around here? A little more. There's the Goop. There's OJ. Seeing New England. VR Trooper. Huh. Oh wait, no. It's just Dark Dungeons. Okay. I thought that sounded familiar. So yeah, it's called Dark Dungeons. Go check it out if you want to learn a bit more on that. But anyway, back to Eddie. He tells me he ain't moving it.
Session, but fails his persuasion check. Eddie refuses to cow to the jocks and the normies.
You want something, freak?
Gotta admit, I didn't like Eddie the first time I saw this scene. The whole performance was a little too much for me. But as I got to know the character better, it made sense that he would act this way as a defense mechanism, since he's such an outcast. He promises to leave the club to Dustin and Mike after he graduates. He's been held back twice, but this is finally his year, as long as he doesn't get busted for dealing drugs in the woods near the school. That afternoon, his unlikely customer is Chrissy, who's been feeling a little cuckoo with visions of clocks full of CG spiders.
Do you ever feel like you're losing your mind?
Eddie can tell something's got her spooked and says she can bail instead of buy, but Chrissy's desperate for something that can help her get a good night's sleep. This scene does so much for both of these characters. Grace Van Dien plays Chrissy as a sweet but fragile girl on the verge of an absolute breakdown. Joseph Quinn shines by making Eddie an endearing goofball, hiding beneath a performative, edgy exterior. And the two of them have such great chemistry together too. Sure hope nothing bad happens to either of them. That night, it's game time, both basketball and D&D. Lucas is sad when he sees his friends aren't there and they're assigned a bleacher spot. Instead, they're sticking with the Hellfire Club and have brought Erica to fill in for her bro.
What's your class and level? Level 1 dwarf?
My name is Lady Applejack, and I'm a chaotic, good, half-elf rogue level 14. And I will sneak behind any monster you throw my way and stab them in the back with my poison-soaked kukri. And I'll smile as I watch them die.
Erica Sinclair remains a precocious little kid, which can easily be annoying, but man, does Priya Ferguson make it work.
Well.
This final D&D sesh sees them in a boss battle against a dark wizard named Vecna. He takes out each player until Erica's the only one left. Her efforts are cross-cut with the basketball game, where the other team's dirty tactics get Lucas pulled off the bench and into the game. It's fun to see these two games edited together, since they're equally important to the characters playing them. Lucas makes the winning shot with 1 second left on the clock, and Erica rolls a nat 20 to vanquish Vecna. It's a canon event for both of them, no doubt, but the aftermath only underlines their ever-distancing trajectories. Lucas doesn't even look back at his friends as he follows his new bros to an after party. Max is at her new home in a trailer park, where she lives with her mom ever since Billy's dad left them after his death. She's feeding a neighbor's dog when she sees Eddie and Chrissy go into his trailer for a Special K deal, and we ain't talking cereal. He starts rifling around for the ketamine, but he'd better hurry because the clock is ticking.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Chrissy gets lost in another nightmare, one that pulls her into the scariest sewing scene since Child's Play 2. A twisted version of her parents are there, with her dad looking like both guys from that trap in Saw 4. Oh man, and all the bugs and rotten food everywhere. Oh, you know it smells crazy in there. This scary motherfucker can't smell it though. He ain't got no nose. But he does have news for Chrissy.
It's time for your suffering to end.
In the trailer, Eddie panics at Chrissy's concerning state.
Chrissy, wake up now!
It's a terrifying moment, but it did give us hilarity in the form of a remix song by the Gregory Brothers.
Wake up, can you hear me? Wake up, Chrissy. I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up.
There's nothing funny about what Eddie sees, though. A catatonic Chrissy floating up and getting stuck to the ceiling like Tina in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Then she's killed right in front of Eddie by a real bad case of bonitis. The next morning, Max wakes up from another nightmare to a headache and police cars rolling in and swarming Eddie's trailer. Inside, they find Chrissy's mutilated body. Rough day for Hawkins PD. Not something you take home to the wife, you know? Newly promoted Sheriff Powell doesn't know what could have done this, but he's already picked Eddie Munson as their prime suspect. Probably because his name is one letter off from Manson. Or because Chrissy's body was found in his trailer and now he's missing. You think Callahan applied for Sheriff too and is resentful? Or is he okay just being Deputy Mustache? Word of the murder spreads quickly through Hawkins. The basketballers catch the news from the party den at the abandoned diner Benny used to own. You know, the one from the very first episode. Shame it turned out like this, with freaking Pucus having baby's first hangover in there. Chrissy's name hasn't been released yet, but later when the cops are talking to Jason, they tip their hand that it involves her. They also mess up mentioning Munson.
Did that freak hurt her? He hurt Chrissy? Did he hurt Chrissy?
Jason finds out Chrissy is dead and storms off into the woods to have a little breakdown. There, scream it out. Robin and Steve also hear about the news while they're working at the video store. Ever since Scoops Ahoy got shipwrecked in the mall fire, they've been marooned at Family Video, a real franchise that actually lasted until 2022. Way to hold out. The dynamic between Steve and Robin is a lot different here than it was in season 3. Robin is way more neurotic and chatty, almost to the point of feeling like a different character. But I guess a teen would probably act different at their summer job compared to when they're back in school, surrounded by social pressures. And she's finally found someone she can be herself around. Yeah, that would probably cause a change too. Max tells Dustin that Chrissy is dead and was last seen with Eddie. Dustin swears Eddie must be innocent since he's a nice guy who's always been there for him.
Well, I mean, they said the same shit about Ted Bundy.
Yeah, but did Bundy run a great D&D campaign? Max admits it might not have been Eddie though, because last night the lights in her trailer went nuts right before she heard Chrissy scream. Then she saw Eddie drive off in a hurry. Might be some upside down shenanigans, even though they should have stopped all that bullshit last season. Only way to know more is to find and talk to Eddie. This episode actually began with a flashback to the end of last season, when Joyce activated a rift to the Upside Down. It caused Hopper to disappear, but in the least shocking revelation ever, turns out he didn't really die during that violent night. He escaped death, just not the Russian forces. That's what happens when you spend too much time Stalin. David Harbour wanted to shoot these flashbacks early to make sure he'd look the same as he did in season 3. He wanted to avoid continuity issues since he'd have to lose a lot of weight for the rest of season 4. But since it wasn't written quite yet, they shot the flashbacks after his weight loss, and the makeup effects team had to give him facial prosthetics to match his earlier, heavier look. The Russians took Hopper back to the motherland for enhanced interrogation, demanding to know who he was working with. And if he won't talk, then so be it. Despite elephantic torture, Hopper refused to give up Joyce. He's clearly willing to die for her, and I don't blame him. I mean, it's Winona Ryder, you know? Since they couldn't get any info out of him, they sent him to a prison labor camp called Kamchatka, located on a peninsula in the Russian Far East. You know, by the Sea of Okhotsk. Hopper's been in that frigid finger of land for the past 9 months, bald, beaten, and getting his ass blasted. While everyone stateside thinks he's dead. Everyone except for Joyce. She's still holding out for Hawkins' hero like she's Bonnie Tyler. Or Bonnie Byers! After all, she never saw a body. And I mean, even if she did, when has that ever stopped her? Murray has flown here from Hawkins to deal with the message she got, which says to call a number and pretty please don't tell the government, no matter how much Ted Wheeler would want her to. The letter is signed Enzo, a reference to the Italian restaurant that Joyce and Hopper were supposed to go to on a date but never did. That's proof enough for Joyce to want to make the call. Murray agrees to help as long as they disguise their location and keep the call short. You just can't KGB too careful, you know? They call up my least favorite plot of the season, when a voice tells Joyce she has no choice but to bring $40,000 to a place in Alaska. That is not nice. But it's the only way to get Hopper again. Okay, thanks, bye! Mike arrives in Lenora to visit Elle and the Byers boys. In fact, looks like they came in on the same plane as Murray. Really not sure how they missed him. He's very noticeable. The Cali kids promise Mike cool California experiences like breakfast burritos and roller skating. Just gotta stop for short shorts, dude. Speaking of fashion, season 4 saw the return of season 3's costume designer Amy Paris. She used different regional 80s yearbooks as references for the characters. The Hawkins gang is more drab and old-fashioned, while the California kids rock surfer and skater styles. Mike's kinda in between and buys a new outfit he hopes will be cool in Cali. Other characters have more specific personal styles. Eddie's a metal fan and is dressed accordingly with actual vintage Dio shirts t-shirts provided by Ronnie James's widow. The kids go to Skate-A-Rama, where people are skating, eating shit, and waving their asses into the camera. There's also a quick cameo by Jake Bon Jovi, who is now married to Millie Bobby Brown with a child. Eleven promotes a phony popularity to Mike and says Angela's her friend. So what, friends don't lie, but girlfriends do? That's whack, El. Will knows it too.
I don't think Mike's gonna like that you're lying to him. And he doesn't deserve that.
The truth rears its ugly head when Angela shows up and pulls Elle into a roller rink humiliation ritual. Damn, they got a lot of kids to go in on this milkshake prank that Elle doesn't duck. They're all skating around laughing like literal jackasses. It fucking sucks for Elle and she demands an apology, but instead Angela mocks her dead dad, and that's a step too far.
Angela!
Holy shit, dude.
Damn,
She
what
just
a
straight
blow.
busted that chick's face open. That was way more effective than that Kamehameha bullshit. And honestly, she deserved it. Got off easy, even. Last season, Elle could have popped her head like in Scanners. Unfortunately, it gives Elle a flashback to when Brenner found her amidst all those dead kids. Beck and Hawkins, Dustin and Max go to the video store and commandeer the place. They need help tracking down Eddie and figure they can get to him through his drug dealer Reefer Rick. A trail of Cheech and Chong rentals leads them to an address. And when they get there, they find an on-edge Eddie hiding in a storage
Eddie,
shed
calm down,
behind the
buddy.
house. Dustin talks him down, swearing that they come in peace.
You know Robin. From band.
Eddie tells them what happened to Chrissy, even though he knows it sounds insane. Don't worry, dude. They've seen stranger things. They give him an abridged rundown of the first 3 seasons, even faster than watching the kill counts for him, damn. But based on what Eddie's saying, it sounds like this might be something new.
Vecna's curse.
Whenever the Duffers come up with a monster for the show, they use the D&D monster manuals to find something
Mind
the kids
Flare,
might compare it to.
Demogorgon,
For this season's big bad, they chose Vecna, who wasn't really a D&D character until the 90s, but did exist in the lore already. So Eddie's a little ahead of his time. It's almost like he wrote the official 2nd edition story, Vecna Lives. Like his Stranger Things counterpart, the D&D character Vecna attacks with psionic powers and essentially curses. Across town, Nancy and Fred are...
I do love the fact they bring the... Well, I mean, they basically bring it to life, you know? Same abilities, I mean, different design, but definitely the same abilities. You look at it. You gotta love the Duffers for it. Shows their D&D love. But yeah, I guess Steven's just like, okay, now I guess I believe you since I've just experienced it. Anywho, move along.
They're trying to bluff their way past the trailer park police blockade.
I guess, no?
Nancy plays it cool, but the cop seems to recognize Fred.
You killed that kid last year.
What?
Huh?
That ugly scar on your face. It's from that crash.
The cop gets creepier as he yells that Fred's a murderer until Fred snaps out of the hallucination. Yeah, that's probably not a good sign. When they get inside, Nancy spots Eddie's Uncle Wayne, who's sick of the press, but she wins him over by shit-talking the other reporter he talked to.
That guy doesn't know his ass from his elbow.
She's talking about Chuck Bailey from the Hawkins Post, her douchey co-worker from season 3. Wayne tells her his nephew ain't a killer, no matter what the town might believe. He blames someone named Victor Creel, a man who supposedly lost his mind and murdered his entire family. He's still alive, so maybe he broke out of his asylum. Like that one guy.
Like Michael Myers.
Yeah, him.
There you go.
And Creel wouldn't even have to teach himself how to drive. Fred starts hearing a clock chime, just like Chrissy did. This chime is such a good sound effect, instantly foreboding and very distinct, like Undertaker's gong. Fred follows the sound until he finds a somber gathering of accusatory corpses. He flees until he finds a burning car with someone screaming inside. I guess old Fred was responsible for a fatal car accident in the past. Kinda like that dude from As Above, So Below. And since this is a vision of something that actually happened, I'll go ahead and add Fred's friend to the count. Fred loses his glasses and stumbles into an open grave where Vecna arrives and gets a little too close for comfort.
I want you to join me.
In a kiss? The Duffers said Vecna is 90% practical, with a few digital enhancements here and there. The practical parts were designed by makeup artist Barry Gower, who ended up winning an Emmy for his work. The Duffers told them to model Vecna after the Night King from Game of Thrones and real-life Chernobyl radiation burn victims. They also incorporated vines so he would seem at home in the Upside Down. The prosthetics are silicone medical gel encased in vinyl skin. The practical suit gave actors a real monster to play off of for the first time in years. You can feel that the danger is more tangible and threatening, as opposed to if they were battling a big CG monster. Vecna's also scary because he can speak to his victims, something the Duffers had wanted in a villain since season 1. It puts him in the pantheon of taunting, talking monsters like Pinhead and Pennywise. And of course, Freddy Krueger, which was exciting for Matt Duffer, who said he always wanted to make a Nightmare on Elm Street film. Fred floats into the air, and we get to see what happened to Chrissy in full detail. He dies after being contorted like he's got a calcium deficiency in a cave on the beach that makes you old. As the episode ends, we get our first glimpse of Vecna's home base in the Upside Down, swarming with tentacles and monsters. Episode 3 begins in Ruth, Nevada, where a lady is visited by aliens! Just kidding, it's a stern man named Sullivan. Old Sterny Sullivan, that's what we like to call him. He's here to see Dr. Owens, who was fired after the whole Russian invasion thing. Sullivan has seen Chrissy's body and suspects that 11 is responsible, and says Owens is responsible for 11.
Men of science. Men like you who created this problem in the first place.
Owens swears 11 is dead, but Sully don't fully buy it. After a thorough search of the house, he hops back in his helicopter to look elsewhere. Hope he doesn't head to Lenora, where Angela's assault has attracted a bunch of onlookers. The kids get picked up by the Doobie Brothers, and honestly, Charlie Heaton and Eduardo Franco do a good job acting like young stoners who are high out of their minds. They get home to find Murray cooking up risotto and Joyce cooking up a story about a fake business trip. Argyle eats them both up.
Finish risotto? He's smacking, dude. Still have no idea who he is.
Joyce tells the kids her bosses live in Alaska, so she needs to go to there. Man, it was so much easier to lie to your kids before Google. Dustin and the gang bring food to Eddie's honeycomb hideout and warn him that the police are looking for him. His name isn't public yet, but it's only a matter of time. Pretty grim for Eddie, but there is a way out. All they have to do is find Vecna, kill him, and prove Eddie's innocence before it's too late. And don't worry, dude, they've beaten monsters before.
Mine was more human flesh-based, and theirs was more smoke-related.
She is, of course, referring to the spider monster and the mind flayer. But hey, y'all, don't leave out the Demodogs or the Demogorgon. They're OG. The sound of sirens leads the gang to the trailer park, where Nancy is being questioned about Fred's death. Oh, God, his body is absolutely horrible to look at. She brings up Victor Creel, but the cops tell her he's still locked away and are dismissive as per usual. She gets with the others for a strategy sesh, trying to find any common links between Chrissy and Fred. They surmise that Chrissy might have mentioned something to the school counselor, Ms. Kelly. Nancy and Robin split off to look into Victor Creel, while Steve is left with the younger kids to go talk to Ms. Kelly.
Always the goddamn babysitter.
Lucas wakes up to find the basketball team forming an angry mob. They're going out to look for Eddie, but just to talk, bro, promise. They visit the other members of the Hellfire Club / Eddie's band, where Jason gets rough with his interrogation. Aw, come on, dude, not the sax.
drums,
He makes the drummer Spinal Tap out and learns that Dustin was looking for Eddie. So now Jason wants to find Dustin. Good job, bystander Lucas. They go to Dustin's house, where Lucas acts fast and sneaks into his room to radio a warning. He gets caught in the act, but claims he found a clue that can lead them to Eddie's hiding place. Where he actually takes them is Hopper's cabin, abandoned since Hopper's apparent death and still damaged from when the Mind Flayer attacked it in season 3. Lucas takes the opportunity to ditch Jason and the aggro nuts. At the buyer's home, Ella's so upset she won't even come out of her room for Egos. And they were a whole thing! Mike brings them to her and says to let go of her lies. He doesn't know why she didn't tell him about Angela's bullying.
And I've been bullied my entire life. I mean, I know what it's like.
Elle says he doesn't know what it's like to be seen as a monster. And like, does he even love her? Because he never says it in his letters. He's always just a from.
From Mike. From Mike. From Mike. From Mike. From.
The Frommer's quarrel is interrupted by cops at the front door, who say they have a warrant for Elle's arrest. Damn, bad week for Joyce to abandon them for Alaska. The cops cuff 11 and haul her off to jail, where they take her mugshot and question her like this were adolescents.
Did you want to kill her?
It gives her a flashback to the hospital massacre, and she admits, you know what, maybe she is a little killy. Oh, Elle, you really don't want to say that aloud to cops. Mike and the Byers boys reach the station just in time to see a van driving her off to juvie. Back in the US, back in the USSR, Hopper needs to talk to Enzo, his man on the inside. Enzo's just an alias. His actual name is Antonov, but I can never remember it for the life of me. They fake a fight to buy some time to talk, but like, what do the other guards think they're doing back there for so long? Do they think he's just kicking him over and over? You know, I bet they think they're making out. Oh yeah, they definitely think they're fucking.
Where do you want it?
Yo, wait, are they actually fucking? Oh, he meant the punch for their fake fight. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
The Russian scenes were shot in Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania. Hopper's jail cell in Kamchatka was filmed at the decommissioned Lukishka's prison, which was involved in several massacres during World War II. It's now only used for TV and film shoots, but still looks authentically bleak. At mealtime, Hopper sidles up to a fellow inmate and offers some bread. Relax, guy, it's not a pickup. Hop's just cruising for a bruising. He pays the guy in soup to hit his ankle with a hammer, breaking his bones, but also the chain and shackle. That lets him get the chain off that night, and he didn't even have to mush his foot like Eric Matthews did. It still hurts like hell to walk, of course, but he's one step closer to getting home to Elle. Elle's ride to juvie is intercepted by Dr. Owens, who takes her to a diner and offers her a choice. He tells her that danger has returned to Hawkins and that everyone needs her to save the day again. He knows she lost her powers at the end of season 3, but they can rebuild her. He has the technology to bring her powers back better, stronger, faster. But if she comes with him, there's a chance she'll never see her friends again. It's her choice, but Paul Reiser's monologuing convinces her to take the offer. She leaves before her waffles even arrive. Again, Elle? It's like I don't even know you anymore. Max goes to Ms. Kelly's for a house call while Dustin and Steve wait in the car. Any scene with these two is golden. Joe Keery and Gaten Matarazzo have such a genuine and natural chemistry.
I'll punch you so hard in your face that your teeth will fall back out.
Oh. Too far.
Max tries to get info about Chrissy's murder, but Ms. Kelly counsels her to leave it to the police. Max knows that's a fucking useless idea, so she snags Kelly's office key and books it back to the getaway car. Go. Meanwhile, Robin and Nancy go to the library for a research montage. Yeah, let's fucking go! This is another great character pairing. The prim and proper professional with the anxious word vomiter. Robin senses tension and assures Nancy that she and Steve are just platonic friends. She would never get with Nancy's ex. She's a girl's girl, in every sense of the phrase. While she doesn't come out to Nancy, she does talk about her anxieties.
You don't know me very well. I don't really have a filter or a strong grasp of social cues.
A lot of people read Robin as autistic, thanks to scenes like this where she needs specific goals and tasks. Nancy, conversely, works in a more intuitive way, with broad information gathering. Their complementary styles work together well. Robin thinks to check the Weekly Watcher, a conspiracy rag that covers UFOs, Bigfoot, and
Elvis, cloned by aliens. You never know.
According to the Watcher, Victor Creel blamed his family's murder on a failed exorcism.
Pretty novel for the 50s. Exorcist wasn't even out yet. Keep going.
He says a demon killed his family and spared his life as punishment. He was declared legally insane because, duh, demons aren't real, but maybe Vecnas are. Dustin, Steve, and Max are doing research of their own, breaking into the school to snoop through Ms. Kelly's files.
It's like a mini Watergate or something.
G. Gordon Jr. and Max learn that Freddie was also seeing Ms. Kelly. Even weirder, he and Chrissy shared all the same symptoms. Headaches? Like the ones Max has been having, so check. Nightmares? Check again. And nosebleeds. Yep, check-a-rooney. And between Chrissy's abusive mother and Fred's car accident, they both had past trauma. Trauma like seeing your brother killed in front of you. Max realizes that, like Ralph Wiggum, she's in danger. Then she hears a familiar chime, finds that gosh dang grandfather clock bonging away. The danger is emanating from the Dracula district of Upside Down Hawkins, where there sits a Dutch colonial that kind of looks like the Elm Street house. Season 4 spends more time in the Upside Down than ever before, giving an opportunity to introduce new demo life forms like these demo bats. This one soaring shot that follows a few of them took the team at Rodeo Effects nearly 2 years to complete. They had to choreograph the action and movement of the bats against each other, how they float through the CG environment, and how the camera tracked all of that. Rodeo Effects did more than 500 VFX shots for the season, which they considered one of the most ambitious projects in the company's history. The season's impressive VFX were achieved in spite of an intense crunch when production went over schedule by 8 weeks. That, along with an editor dropping out, caused Netflix to pull VFX editors from other shows to help get it over the finish line. Inside this ersatz Elm Street house is a faux Freddy Krueger hanging out. He's awash with slimy tentacles. Or maybe it's a super high-speed fiber connection. Who knows? In any case, he's honed in and connected and knows exactly for whom the clock chimes. Nancy and Robin meet the others at the high school, as does Lucas, who narrowly avoids getting his lights knocked out by Steve. He biked 8 miles to get to his friends and warned them about Jason's witch hunt, but they've got bigger problems right now. Chrissy and Fred both died 24 hours after their first vision, and since Max just had hers, her time is running out, Matt Bellamy style. Sadie Sink is great as always at playing a cynical, jaded teen.
Of course this asshole curses me.
Well, I mean, you were a shady sider. Curses come with the territory. Back at the Wheeler house, Nancy and Robin tell everyone about Victor Creel. He claims his family was murdered by what may have been Vecna, but that was back in the 1950s, 3 decades before 11 opened a gate to the Upside Down. How could Vecna have gotten through to Hawkins before a gate was even there? They decide to talk to Creel since he may be the only known Vecna survivor. This whole thing kind of reminds me of the Smile Demon. Vecna targets people who have a traumatic past, and there appears to be a single survivor who could tell them how to escape the curse. To gain access to Creel's asylum, Nancy and Robin will pretend to be psych students. Steve's stuck watching babies again. Sorry, dude, but they've got to pretend to be uni students, and, well, you dumb. But you strong and you protect. So just keep the kids safe from Jason, who's currently trying to hunt down Lucas. Max writes letters for all her loved ones to be opened in the event she gets Vecna'd. She drops off one for her mom at home in a really touching scene. She says the letter is just in case anything happens, but her mom tells her not to worry.
Nothing is going to happen, baby. Nothing you don't deserve.
Oh, goddamn it, Vecna, you ruined a really nice moment, man. Now we're in a nightmare world where the laundry lines got their Carrie Whites. Vecna says, ding dong, hello, your time is almost up. And when Max snaps back, she just moves on without confiding in her friends. Joyce and Murray get to Alaska during its...
honestly, if I was there, I would have been like, okay, yeah, definitely, another one. We gotta move fast. Not good. Anyway.
Pleasant spring season and traveled to Yuri's Fish and Fly. A man greets them and tells them they're a day too late. Yuri died on a sightseeing trip to see polar bears. Just kidding. He is Yuri. He's just a little prankster.
You two seem very nice, very trustworthy people, but so did my brother. Before he stole my wife!
Yuri's played by Serbian actor Nikola Jericho, who definitely gives it his all, but man, he is just too big a character for me.
I don't like him.
Yeah, me neither. I know I complained about how boring Grigori was last season, but they overcorrected when they made this ridiculous man. And he definitely shouldn't be sharing scenes with Murray.
Yuri, Murray. We rhyme.
Enzo Antonov tells Hopper where to meet Yuri, so he breaks his sledgehammer and follows a guard into a shed for a replacement. Looks to me like he breaks the guard's neck, so I'll go ahead and count it as a kill. He's caught by another guard, so he beats that guy up too, and then definitely breaks his neck. We see both bodies in a later shot, confirming 2 kills hopped onto the count just now.
Hopper.
Then Hop blocks the door, rigs the shed to explode, and shimmies out the sunroof to escape. The shed explodes, killing 5 guards who were close enough to be engulfed by its flames. Good job, man, but how are you gonna get away? Bet you wish you had a surf cube or something, huh? Oh, a snowmobile?
That worked.
Yeah, that works too. Okay, James Bond. He ends up getting to Yuri's hideout in an abandoned church where he finds free peanut butter and an Elvira poster on the wall. Well, screw Hawkins, just stay here forever. And Antonov gets a call from Yuri, who informs him of a slight change of plans. He's told the prison about Hopper's whereabouts, meaning, what? God damn it, we're not done with the prison plot yet? Son of a bitch! Yuri's also informed the warden about Antonov's corruption, securing himself a whole bunch of reward money. Act now, and he'll throw in 2 Americans wanted by the KGB, since he's knocked out Joyce and Murray thanks to coffee laced with drugs. Back in Lenora, a bunch of secret agents tell the boys that Eleven's at superhero training camp since Hawkins is in danger. Again. Agent Stinson swears they're not the Brender-led baddies from the first season. They're good guys this time around. She gives Mike a letter from Elle to prove they can be trusted. Oh, and she frummed him in it. Damn, Mike, get from! He and the Byers boys are put in protective custody under agents Wallace and Harmon, who end up making themselves at home. In the bedroom, Mike and Will hash out their feelings. They've been tipping with each other, with Mike thinking Will's a downer and Will feeling totally ignored. It gets Mike to open up.
I feel like I lost you or something.
And they agree to be best friends again.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Totally awesome. Will loves being friends. Friends is just, it's the best. They decide to use the power of friendship to save the day again and order an escape vehicle by means of pizza delivery. And of course these agents are gonna want pizza.
Surf's up, Surfer Boy Pizza. This is Argyle speaking. We make everything fresh here at Surfer Boy except for our pineapple, which comes from a can.
Probably wishing they called Pizza Hut instead though. The doorbell rings, but it ain't the pizza pies in record time. It's a kill count pie chart because Sullivan's soldiers just crashed the pizza party. We get an awesome action scene in a long, unbroken, shaky oneer. I love it because it shows how badass Agent Harmon can be. Get you a man who can do both. During the shootout, I'll count 4 soldiers who Harmon shoots to the ground. I don't know if all those shots would be lethal, but I mean, it's gunshot kills. What the fuck do you want? Harmon is shot through the wall during his retreat, and Argyle gets there just in time for a pickup he was not expecting. Oh shit, dude, they need a Surfer Boy pizza van skin for Fortnite. Come on, Epic, do nowhere. Nancy and Robin go to the asylum in disguise, with Robin looking like Ali Sheedy at the end of The Breakfast Club. I love how Maya Hawke injects discomfort into Robin's every movement in this outfit. She's walking like a baby deer in those heels and constantly fidgeting with a frilly collar. It's another thing people point to when they say that she's autistic. I would also cite the way she responded to being in Nancy's room. She descended upon all the new data that might let her unlock the mystery of Nancy Wheeler. The Penhurst Mental Hospital is pretty nice as far as creepy hospitals go, with gardens and a music therapy room.
The right song, particularly one which holds some personal meaning, can prove a salient stimulus.
Only thing it's missing is a human-sized chessboard. But you need one of those if you want to get big wig inmates like Mikey My My. The hospital director won't let the girls see Victor without an official request. He offers them a tour instead, so Robin yes-ands like an improv pro and spins up a yarn about her past.
1978, I was at summer camp.
Oh, dude, were you
Hey,
Street
look at
Simon
that.
too? Oh, wait, actually, yeah, she was. But she was from the 94 one, not 78. Robin tells him this is for their thesis and strokes the guy's ego, saying she idolizes his work.
Other kids, they wanted to be astronauts, basketball players, rock stars, but I wanted to be you.
It's super effective. I guess Vaught was right. Girls do get it done. The director takes them to Creel's cell block. Hope there ain't a multiple MIGs there for your sake, girls. After convincing the director to give them some privacy, they tell Creel that they believe he's an innocent man. Whatever killed his family is back though, and they're gonna need his help if they want to survive. He turns towards them and reveals that he gave himself the old Event Horizon enucleation. Oh, that is definitely infected. Robin ignores the pus and asks how he survived the night his family was killed. Creel says he wish he hadn't.
I am still very much in hell.
Victor Creel is, of course, played by Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger himself. Though season 4 takes a ton of inspiration from A Nightmare on Elm Street, the Duffers hadn't planned on casting Englund. Instead, like with Sean Astin in season 2, they were just going through audition tapes when Englund's popped up. Unlike Astin's, his was filmed in his bathtub.
The acoustics are better, bitch.
A flashback takes us to the 1950s when the Creel family moved into a new house in Hawkins. Oh, that is good young Robert Englund casting. Victor, his wife, and his daughter Alice loved the house, but his sensitive son Henry immediately acted like something was wrong. After a month, things started getting weird, with mutilated animals appearing outside and everyone in the family having waking nightmares, from CG spiders in the tub to bawling babies all ablaze. At dinner one night, the lights started flickering and Creel's wife Virginia flew into the air. Oh shit, there she go! She met the same bone-crunching end that we saw Chrissy and Fred suffer later on. Victor tried to save the kids, only to have a hallucination, a traumatic wartime memory of when he ordered the shelling of a building. It wound up being full of civilians instead of soldiers, including that baby he had seen earlier. Which means I've got to put this one civilian dude and one civilian baby on the kill count? Stranger Things 4's got me counting a baby? What the fuck, dude? Victor escaped his nightmare by following the voice of an angel, Ella Fitzgerald singing Dream a Little Dream on the radio. When he came to in his house, he found his daughter Alice dead and his son Henry in a coma. He was arrested for all the murders and wound up cutting out his own eyes. But right as the story's getting good and juicy, the girls are busted by the hospital director. He marches them past the music room, which helps Robin put the pieces together. Music can reach parts of the brain that words can't, and can be an escape like Ella Fitzgerald was for Creel. They ditch the director and run back to the car. Max has Steve drop her off at the cemetery so she can visit Billy's grave. She reads the letter she wrote for him, finally putting into words the feelings she's been struggling with. It's a mixture of grief and guilt that has haunted her ever since he died.
For a while, I tried to be happy. Normal. But I think that maybe a part of me died that day too.
Shadows roll in, and Max dives deep into a Vecna vision that brings Dacre Montgomery back. But Vecna's only in Billy form for a minute before reverting to his slimy self.
It is time, Max.
Nah, man, Vecna's exactly the kind of weirdo my wife would think is hot.
Now.
He is.
As her friends try to wake her up in the real world, Max tries to escape Vecna by running through his lair. Which, what, that's a separate thing from the Upside Down? I mean, yeah, at least according to the wiki, which compares it to the void we always see Eleven visit. Damn, Elle, fix your place up. Look at everything Vecna's done with his mental space. Max reaches a fragmented house in Vecna's lair and finds the mummified remains of Chrissy and Fred.
How do you like them, Max?
I don't, Vec. Unable to outrun Vecna, Max finally starts screaming for help from her friends. But is it too late? Not if Nancy and Robin can help it. They walk into the others and tell them they might be able to save Max by playing her favorite song. And thankfully, she's been playing that shit on repeat. They manage to get her headphones on and play Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. The music opens up a hole in the nightmare world, but it still might be too late for Max. She begins to float in the air, a terrifying sight for her friends and the audience, considering we know damn well what happens next. But inside Vecna's lair, Max rips out one of his neck tentacles and
damn.
breaks free, running up that road, running up that hill. God damn,
Come on,
I love
boys,
this
make a deal with the guy.
flashback
Come on.
sequence. It makes me tear up every time, as Max finally runs towards her
Come on,
friends
Max, come
instead
on.
of turning away from them like she has all season. It helps that I'm a sucker for a good needle drop, and this already great song is enhanced by the addition of strings and an orchestra. The Duffer Brothers wrote Running Up That Hill into their scripts without even knowing if they'd be able to use it.
And then we just prayed that Kate Bush would be into the idea because it was going to be using her song a lot.
Bush was supportive of its use, which worked out great. The show's release saw the song return to the top of the charts 37 years after its release. A cut to black gives us the slightest worry that Max didn't make it, but thankfully she crashes back to Earth and into the arms of her friends. The episode ends with a hero pose. Episode 5 kicks off in the back of the pizza van where Agent Harmon's bleeding out like Mr. Orange. He gurgles that the boys need to contact Owens and warn him that Eleven's in danger. He says the name Nina and tries to give a phone number, but before he can write it down, he succumbs to his injuries. Thanks for trying, gurgly guy. They bury the body in a junkyard while Argyle freaks the fuck out since this is the first dead body he's ever seen, that we know of. He tries to make a headstone with a piece of pizza box, but the pen won't write because instead of ink, it's got a message inside. It's the phone number the agent was trying to give them, but when they call it, it sounds like 56K.
Listen to this.
The noise reminds Jonathan of War Games, the 1983 techno thriller starring Matthew Broderick, and he figures the number goes to a computer. They realize they're gonna need a hacker, so good thing this season's first episode showed us one. Dustin's long-distance girlfriend Susie, who hacked into their school's computer to change a grade for him. They decide to drive to Utah for Susie's help, and oh, wait, no, that's all this plotline has in this episode? Okay, good talk. In Alaska, Yuri prepares to smuggle Joyce and Murray across the Iron Curtain. He ties them up and puts them in the back of his plane alongside peanut butter and porn, smuggler staples. During the trip, Joyce knocks over the peanut butter and tells Murray to grab one of the glass shards? The peanut butter used to come in glass jars? Damn, today I learned.
So, yeah.
If Murray can cut himself free, he can use the martial arts skills he's been bragging about all season.
I should mention I'm now a black belt in karate.
But turns out Murray's never fought an adult before. He's only used to fighting karate kids.
How old?
It doesn't go younger than 13.
He gives it a shot anyway, with Joyce serving as a distraction. Oh man, I already thought Black Belt Murray was dumb, but now we've got a karate fight in a frickin' plane? Not a fan. And yet somehow, this is still only the second worst flight from hell. And honestly, these idiots are lucky they don't get gold-fingered out of that hall.
Hey,
Murray knocks out Yuri, leaving them without pilot, so the plane stops midair and starts hurtling towards the ground. And, wow, that's another plotline wrap for this episode. Things aren't looking great for Hopper and Enzo either. They've gone from co-conspirators to cellmates, mopping up blood and cleaning up hands. You know, I really go back and forth on if I like Tom Vlashiha's performance of Antonov. And that's coming from someone who loved Jacques and Hagar so much, we made a Kimmy Schmidt Pinot Noir parody on our old channel. His suave whisper line delivery just feels over the top sometimes, but it does lend itself well to some moments I truly love.
We gambled today, and we lost. We lost.
A despondent Hopper opens up about his fear.
I used to think I was cursed.
Wait, you too? Is everyone in Hawkins a shady side transplant? He says that during Vietnam, he worked in chemical warfare, mixing batches of Agent Orange. That exposure probably caused his daughter Sarah's illness and death. Wow, this is some heavy shit for Stranger Things. He's afraid that he hurts everyone he loves and that Joyce is no exception. After all, she wouldn't be captured right now if he had never sent her that note.
I sentenced her to death. It's like I did with Sarah.
And just like he did himself, because they hear a noise that Hopper recognizes. The Russians have a goddamn Demogorgon. Chrissy's funeral fans the flames of satanic panic in town. That's bad news for Lucas when his teammates find a picture of him in the Hellfire Club. Now, back in episode 3, we saw Vecna take a trip through his fiber connection to spy on people's dark secrets and trauma. Dude, this is dark web. The Duffer saw Vecna as a villain who preys on teenage angst and anxiety and all the other negative emotions they remembered from those years. In this case, Vecna's web search found Patrick, a kid on the basketball team, after following sounds of a father berating his son. Now Patrick's seeing things, clock things, and is afraid that Eddie has somehow cursed him. Jason doesn't believe in the supernatural, so he thinks Eddie is just a run-of-the-mill murderer. They go down a list of places to search for Eddie and land on Reefer Rick's. Elsewhere in Hawkins, the kids regroup at Nancy's house to Ted Wheeler's delight.
Could try sticking together at a different house for a change.
Ha, can always count on that Patriot to curmudgeon up a scene. Max tells the others about her Vecna experience and how it took place in in what seemed like his lair.
Like Freddy Krueger's boiler room.
Yeah, you know, minus the sheep. She tries to draw what she saw there, believing it to be the inside of Vecna's mind. It's the same method Will used to warn everyone about the mind flayer. Will was such a good little artist.
God, we need Will.
Yeah, well, this ain't season 2 and Max ain't got a bowl cut. Thankfully, her art still does the trick, and Nancy recognizes a stained glass window with roses. She puts together the hardest fucking puzzle I've ever seen, rearranging the pieces to reveal the Creel House. They head to the Creel House, where Max recognizes the door from her hallucination. Too bad it's locked.
I found a key.
I'll always pop for that joke. I've been using it myself ever since I saw Chopping Mall as a kid.
Don't worry, I got the keys.
Hey!
The kids head inside the Creel House, which has remained untouched since the 50s. The interior here is a set, but the exterior was a Victorian mansion located outside Rome, Georgia. Production had to travel nearly 2 hours to use it, but it was exactly what they wanted. They even based the interior sets on the real house's interior. Using a set proved helpful when it came to recreating it in Vecna's mind layer, since it was made in fragments that could twist and break apart as needed. Vecna's layer in general is also a set, expanded by digital effects, partly inspired by the bleak paintings of German painter Caspar David Friedrich. A little bit of searching reveals the big bong and granddaddy clock live and in the dust.
Why is this wizard obsessed with clocks? Maybe he's like a clockmaker or something?
Think you cracked the case, Steve?
Damn, Dustin's a real roastmaster general this season. The kids split up to explore the house, going off in pairs of new friendships, old friendships, and exes. But Max and Lucas still might have a spark between them. Wait, no, sorry, that's just the lights flickering. But this house doesn't have electricity, so those lights must mean Vecna's there on the other side in the upside down, just like Will's presence affected lights back in season 1. Following the flickers, they find steps to an attic that look a lot like the ones in The Changeling. In fact, the previous episode showed a reference to that movie with a wheelchair in the attic during Victor's flashback. The Vecna hunt causes Dustin to miss a distress call from Eddie. The basketball team is closing in on him after going to Reefer Rick's and noticing the boathouse out back. Eddie flees by boat, but when the motor doesn't start, he has to paddle his ass away. The jocks see him in pursuit. Haha, Eddie, those are varsity athletes. Even with the paddle, you're up Shit's Creek. Lucky for him, Vecna's decided to make his move on Patrick. At the Creel House, everyone's flashlights sync up like wristbands at a pop concert. That's because Vecna's rocking in the upside down, which for Patrick means it's time to float.
Oh boy.
His body lifts out of the water and breaks all over the place. Jason watches in horror as his teammate gets dumped. Vecna's kills were meant to be visceral and upsetting, without gratuitous gore like blood or bones breaking out of the skin. They shot the actors suspended in the air and had them act out the bone breaking, but the VFX team had to do a lot of work to make it more impactful.
The first thing that came back is that they were not gruesome enough. So real life is not disgusting enough.
Dr. Owens is driving Eleven to a top-secret location in the desert. They pull up to Don Hell's nightclub, which is actually an abandoned missile silo from the early Cold War. Now it's a lab, and her new home. Just hope she doesn't get trapped down there with a confessed arsonist. The silo lab was meant to contrast heavily with the slick Death Star-inspired Russian base from season 3. The design team emphasized a sense of grit and claustrophobic tightness, and built the set as one continuous space of nearly 300 feet. Owens tells Eleven that they...
I mean, I gotta admit, I do kind of like the design of the silo, but I'm not sure how this is gonna get Elle back her powers. Maybe another trauma? Or, I don't know. There's definitely more to this. Also, you think the boy's gonna be like, oh, Eddie didn't do it. Sorry, buddy. So now what? That's definitely oh, so it ain't Eddie. Oh boy, anyway.
Plan to bring her
think it goes
back,
now.
using this machine called Nina. Down the hall is the Pinta and the Santa Maria. Just kidding. Down the hall is something worse.
Hello, Eleven.
Rockside Papa is here and alive, which I can't help but feel is a ruined surprise. The opening scene spoiled his return, kind of like in Saw 3D when the opening scene spoiled the return of Lawrence Gordon, who, not sure if you knew this, is a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
Oh, hey, so is Brenner. You guys can be friends. Seeing Brenner causes Elle to panic and flee, but she's grabbed and gets a nasty needling. Yeah, sure. Do another hero pose thing. Okay. She wakes up in a memory with her hair short again. She's back in the Rainbow Room at Hawkins Lab, and it's 1979, just like the season's opening scene. To de-age Eleven for these scenes, when the character would have been about 8, Lola VFX shot footage of Millie Bobby Brown with a device called the Lola Egg. It captured a wide variety of her expressions, which they were then able to digitally graft onto the body of stand-in Marty Blair, who was actually 8 or 9 years old in real life. Elle tries to leave, but her location resets like a time loop in a trippy video game. This is Nina in action. The machine is allowing her to live in her memories. Brenner explains over the speakers that Nina was named for an opera about a woman unburying carrying a suppressed traumatic memory. To unlock her powers, 11 will need to do the same and reenact her memories while her body floats there, looking like the world's loneliest precog. The loop resets again, and this time 11 plays along, joining Brenner and the other kids for training. Numbers, numbers!
Yes, Papa.
Eating sugar?
Yes, Papa.
Oh, well, I'm glad you admitted it. Johnny never did. The memory shifts to the Rainbow Room massacre from the first episode, and 11 goes into cardiac arrest. They revive her, and she's like, fuck you for that nightmare, I'm outie, run away! She gets cornered again, so she screams, causing everything to blow up around her. Looks like her powers are starting to come back, and that taste of them is enough to convince her to stay. After all, Papa says he knows how to get them all the way back, and he's got a new nickname for her.
Daughter.
Aw, what a sweet moment for everyone. Except
Sure
for those
about that?
guys. Actually, wait, are they? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and count them as dead. You killed those dudes,
considering the
11. Good
blast,
job.
ouch.
Stranger Things 4 was released in 2 parts, and because of its length, we're doing the same with the kill count. We're splitting it up at a different place, though, because it makes more sense for our workload. In any case, you can be thankful that we're not waiting over a month between releases like the show did. We'll have part 2 for you out on either Tuesday or Wednesday, since Wednesday is the day that the first part of Stranger Things 5 is released. But until then, I'm James A. Janice.
This has been the Kill Count.
Thanks a lot for watching the...
So, I'll be getting to the second part another night, because frankly, I do not want to do back-to-back. Anyway, so, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know your favorite part of this part of Season 4. Till next time, adios.